Listen, this one technique is powerful enough. It is capable of helping you to achieve anything you want. Please understand, with all my integrity I am telling you, whether you want health, or you want to achieve wealth, or you want to achieve happy relationships, or completion with yourself, contentment, ultimate enlightenment, anything you want, this one technique can give you that. This one technique practiced can give anything you want. It's the most powerful. One of the most powerful technique Mahadeva has given. It is given by Mahadeva Shiva to Devi, through Devi to all of us. In Shivagama, the chapter called Sivajnana Upanishad, Sloka 94th verse, 22nd technique. So before entering into initiation, let's bow down to Mahadeva and request his presence to make us realize this technique. As per the tradition, I will read out the original Sanskrit verse also, but you don't have to remember the original verse. It's as a tradition I will read out, and I will give you the translation. I will explain exactly the technique. Chittaatyantaha kritirnasti mamantar bhavayet iti vigalpanam apavena vigalpai ruchito bhavet. Chittaatyantaha kritirnasti mamantar bhavayet iti vigalpanam abhavena vigalpair uchito bhavet. Listen to translation. Consciously feel within that mind stuff of past memories of incompletion, with its activities as mind, intellect and ego are not existing in me. By contemplating this way, in your inner space, disidentify from the past impressions and the memories of incompletion. Put your active attention at the space of past happening. Relive these imagined impressions and memories of incompletion, then the mind stuff, having fully ceased from its present characteristics of forming thought patterns and cognitions, is complete. Thus, you become complete and achieve the original space of complete completion. Now I will explain the technique. Listen. the incident, when that incompletion started happening in you, the moment the incident is ready in front of you, go back to that same space and relive. Listen, not remembering, reliving. I'll tell you the difference. If some incompletion has happened at the age of 7, now you are 47, but the incident has happened at the age of 7. If you continue to be a 47-year-old person and remember what has happened at the age of 7, that is remembering. If you continue to be a 47-year-old person, think what has happened at the age of 7, that is remembering. But if you just forget who you are now, become that person, the 7-year-old person, means what was your inner image at that time, what was your outer image at that time, what was your others image at that time, what was your life image at that time, get into that and start reliving. Listen, that time, whatever intelligence you had, whatever space you had inside, get back to that and start reliving as it happened. Remembering will strengthen incompletion, reliving will complete incompletions. Remembering will strengthen it, reliving will complete it. Listen, many times people ask me, why are you asking us to remember all the negative things, past failures? I am not asking you to remember, I am asking you to relive. The difference is, retaining your present identity and thinking the past is remembering. Forgetting your present and getting into the past is reliving. How many of you understand now the difference between these two? Listen. When incident happens, I'll give you one example. One guy at the age of 7 goes for a walk in the beach with the father. Suddenly he sees few people beating each other. In that chaos, one person got killed. One murder has happened. Everyone ran away. Naturally, he also ran away. If this has happened in your life, you will never go to beach again. Even if you go, whenever you go, you will see the heaviness of that murder coming back to you. You go through the same pain, heaviness. Listen, in this incident, this has happened at the age of 7. Now you are 47. When that incident has happened, the fear, powerlessness you felt gets suppressed in you because you are not able to handle it or face it. You just escape. Because you escaped, don't think that emotions disappear. You suppress them and escape. Those suppressed emotions, suppressed fear, suppressed powerlessness becomes the sand for the pattern to grow. Because that suppressed fear is there, every time you go to beach, that fear repeats, that incompletion repeats, that incompletion haunts you. If that suppression is broken, if that is released by reliving the incident, suddenly that pattern building will collapse. Pattern is like a building. Each time you go through the pattern, one brick gets added. But the suppressed emotion during the first incident, that is the foundation. If the foundation is removed, what will happen? Simply the building will collapse. Please understand. The suppressed powerlessness in you forms the foundation for the building of pattern, where every time you go through that same fear, panic, pain, panic attack, fear stroke, one brick is added. Every time you go through, one brick is added. Every time you go through, one brick is added. For this pattern, incompletion building, the foundation is your suppressed fears, incompletions. Listen. If that suppressed fears and incompletions, suppressed fears, powerlessness, if that melts down, if that is released, this whole building of incompletion will collapse. How many of you understand what I am saying? How many of you still are not able to understand? Raise your hand. I'll repeat. Listen. I'll repeat the same example. At the age of 7, you go for a beach walk with your father. You see somebody is killed. And naturally you get frightened. You fall into that powerlessness. You try to escape from that scene. But that does not mean you save yourself from that emotional turmoil also. Even if you run and sit in the car, after coming back to the house also, that whole powerlessness, that fear, that shivering still will be there inside, but you don't know how to get rid of it. You suppress, try to divert yourself by suppressing it. So that becomes a foundation for the fear pattern to grow, fear incompletion to grow. Every time you go through a panic attack, that becomes one brick in the fear, in the incompletion building. Incompletion is building the powerlessness you first experienced is the foundation. If that suppressed powerlessness first you experience, that suppressed fear, if that is released in your system, the building will just collapse. It will really collapse. Now do you understand? So now, in this reliving process, suppressed powerlessness, fears during each incident will be released through your nervous system. You will be free. You will be free. The whole incompletion will collapse. Now you might have written minimum 10 incompletion. For all the 10 also there can be only one incident or two incident, because of which all 10 incompletions have grown in you. It is not necessarily each incompletion should have one incident. Even from one incident, 4-5 incompletions can come. So whatever incidents you remember, pick it up, one by one, relive them 5 times. Listen, not remembering. Now pick up the incident. If it has happened at the age of 7, forget your present identity. Whether you are 27, 37, 47, 57, 87, forget. Go back to that age when that incident happened. Bring that same inner image. What was your inner image at that time? What was your outer image at that time? What was your other's image at that time? What was your life image at that time? Relive that. Relive that. How many of you understand? Just take few minutes to read what you wrote. That 10 incompletions, 10 major incompletions you are going to relive. Close your eyes, tie the ribbon. Put the blindfold and sit straight. Please tie the ribbon, close your eyes, sit straight. Pick up the first incident. Forget your present context. Go back to that original space, same time, mood, the identity you had at that time. Go back to the same identity. Start reliving again and again, at least 5 times. Relive again and again, at least 5 times each incident. Relive it intensely, sincerely.